All right, so today I'm going to talk about some of the costs associated with living in Mexico or here in Merida. For example, we're going to talk about cost of utilities like gas, water. We'll talk about cost of internet, what it costs to get a cell phone. We'll also talk about some of the basic stuff like tips, how much you should tip, other expenses that you might not think of right off. For example, fumigation costs might be something that you will do every few months just to minimize any issues with bugs in the house or in the area. Other things like, for example, when you go to some of these public bathrooms, that have a cost, particularly like downtown or even at the gas station or some of the other places. So like I say, internet, what it costs to get your trash picked up, just so you have a general idea of what to expect. So first thing right off the bat, cell phones. So on average, I spend about 200 pesos per month for my cell phone plan. So 200 pesos, it comes out to about $10 US. I don't know if I said $200, but 200 pesos is about $10. And basically I get 3 gigs of data with that per month. Now I know it don't sound like a lot, but with the plan, it includes unlimited access to services to apps like WhatsApp, unlimited use of Facebook. So that means you can scroll through Facebook, watch all the videos you want, and that does not count against, it doesn't go against the 3 gig of data that you get. So the same with Instagram, unlimited access to Instagram, so you can watch all the videos and consume all the photos you want from Instagram, and it won't go against the 3 gig data. Unlimited use of Twitter, unlimited use of Snapchat, etc., etc. So 200 pesos per month for the plan that I got. And if you need more than that, they have like a 300 peso plan, which is about 15 US dollars. And that gives you 4 gigs of data. Now that also includes unlimited calls, unlimited texting within Mexico, and calls to the United States and calls to Canada. So that's all wrapped into that plan. So that's that. So now these are prepaid plans. I don't know if you get a better discount if you get a contract. You will definitely need residency if you're trying to get one of the contract plans. When I first got here, they didn't allow me to go directly to a sale, to tail sale and set up a plan. They said, oh, you got to go through an authorized dealer or reseller and get your plan from there. So typically when you get here, if your phone is unlocked, you can go to OXXO, which is like a convenience store, or you can go to one of the dealers and buy a SIM card. That can range anywhere from like $2 to $3 to $4. And then you add a plan on it. You say, okay, I want 200 pesos worth of data, which again is about $10. And that's that. They give you a phone number. Once you get that SIM, you activate it, and then you can prepay every 30 days. You can make payments online or go to the convenience store, give them your phone number, and they'll recharge the plan. That's the simplest way to do it. You can also order a SIM card online and have it shipped to your US address and already had a SIM card before you arrive. It's the strangest thing I find. Every time I go to the airport, particularly one here in Merida, I don't know how it is at the other airports, there's no place in the airport to go buy a SIM card. I don't know if that's changed recently, but the last time I was at the airport, the last few times, there was no place to buy a SIM card. So you really had to wait till you get to your destination and then maybe stop by the store on the way or go to the store after you get checked into your hotel or whatever, and then go find somebody to buy a SIM card from. So I don't understand. I don't understand that. So like I say, you can get 3 gigs, 4 gigs, 5 gigs. There's Telcel, 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 Telcel. That's the largest mobile cell phone service provider in Mexico. AT&T is also a service that many people will tend to use as well. So those are the two main providers. So that's that on cell phone usage. So come with an unlocked phone, or when you get here, you can go to stores like Walmart and you can buy some unlocked phones for about $150 to $200 US. And so I'm gonna be talking about pesos and US dollars. Probably use US dollars so you understand. But $150, $200, you can get a decent iPhone, or you can buy Android. I don't know how much more or less those are, but you can buy them unlocked in the different stores like Walmart, Chedraui. They have some used cell phones, semi-new cell phones in stores like in the mall. You can find people in there selling phones that way. So that's one of the things you want to get on the road running with. Get a local number as soon as you can, because when you start looking for properties or real estate or whatever, you want to use a local number. It'll be easier. Sometimes folks don't respond to foreign numbers. They think it's a scam, they think it's spam, or they think it's an English-speaking person, and they don't want to jump on the line and be all nervous about not being able to understand or speak English, et cetera, et cetera. So do that and make sure you download WhatsApp on the phone and be using that. Now, I do a lot of relocation assistance and helping people find places when they arrive here, and I'm driving and using my GPS all day, every day. And with all of that, I never go over the 3 gigs of data. Now, every now and again, I might accidentally slip up and watch a YouTube video, and then that'll suck up my data. So YouTube at this moment does not have a, what's the word for it? They don't have, you don't have unlimited access to YouTube for your data plan. Now, on the other side, Telcel, this is one of the things I like. If at any given time, I want to say, because I have 5G, the 5G is available here. So on my phone, particularly when I'm down inside the perimeter of Mexico, my phone clicks into 5G right now. It's on 4G, I believe. And for 10 pesos, 15 pesos, I think. 15 pesos, which is literally like $1.50. I can go into that Telcel, I can go into the app, and I can pay this $1.50, and it will give me unlimited data for 2 hours. So if I'm ever down in the city and I need to stream a video or do a live stream, I just go into the app, pay $1.50. What is that? 15 pesos, yeah, $1.50, and I can get 2 hours of unlimited data. To watch videos, you use that data any way you want. If you just want to watch videos or watch a movie, download Netflix and watch a movie or whatever, $1.50, 15 pesos, and you get 2 hours of unlimited data. So you don't need unlimited data, but I mean, come on. You could, if you did that once a day, that's $1.50 times 30 days, that's $45. I mean, if you just had to do that, it's still gonna be cheaper than an unlimited plan in the States. So anyhow, I digress. So that's cell phone usage. Internet plans. So for example, there's several major providers. I think the 2 largest probably would be Telmex, Telmex, and the other is Total Play. I like Total Play. Total Play is not out in this area that I'm in right now. Only option I have is Telmex, which is an excellent service. Both offer fiber optic speeds, internet. And so the rate that I'm about to quote you now, and both of them have excellent service. I haven't had any issues with either one. So for about 500 pesos, which is about $25 US, you can get a 150 meg plan speed, 150 megs. So that's about $25. Now, you can, if you wanted to increase that drastically, go up to about 500 megs, that's half a gig of speed. Megas, 649 pesos, which is about I don't know, $35 a month. And all of the connections they have here, well, not all of the connections, but this is fiber optic speed internet. This is fiber optic. The internet is fiber optics, and the speed is blazing. Right now, I have the 500 megs, and I pay 649 pesos. And when I got my thing connected, I'm getting 500 megs. I'm getting the speed. It is smoking. So that's about, like I say, $35. Now, some people tend to want the phone service added to that. So you can look to spend about an extra 50 pesos if on the lower side on the 150 meg plan, and about 75. So about $2.50 to $5 extra. You can add a phone line. US dollars extra, you can add a phone line, so it's voice over IP, VoIP, and that way you can have a dedicated phone number. It'll be a Mexican phone number, so you can have a phone. People still use the phone in the house, so I've been here 3 years. I don't have a phone line in the house. I solely use my cell phone for everything that I need, and so that kind of gives you cost. So depending on how fast you want to go, $25 a month on up to, and they have a 750 mega plan. So however fast you want to go, $25, $30, $35. And some for $5 more, if you want to add something like Netflix, maybe $7 or $8 more, you can drop in Prime on your plan. I believe they had that with the internet only as well. If you want to add TV services to your plan, it's not much more to add that. They got these packages, they bundled significantly cheaper than what you'll pay in the States. I know firsthand, it's ridiculous. I think I'll pay almost like $195 a month for my internet and cable TV combined, almost $200 a month. And here, I mean, you can get all that for like $35, internet, TV, and phone. So that's something. So the other major providers you have, so Telmex, Total Play, Izzy, IZZY, that's another service. Also an alternative, if you live out in an area where you don't have internet, you can always sign up for, I think they call it Skylink or Starlink or Skylink. It's the Elon Musk satellite service, internet service. So you can generally get that for about $45, $50 a month. The speeds are pretty decent. A lot of folks that live out there near the beach where internet services is not that steady or that great, a lot of folks use satellite internet out there. So those are your different options that you have. Costs for water. So you will make two payments for water. You're gonna have the water that come into the house for like taking a shower, the water that flows into the sinks to wash your dishes, the water that flows into the laundry, city water for lack of a better word, the water that you get from the city. So you're gonna pay that. The bills here, the utilities like water and electricity, the bills come every 2 months. And so for water on average, and I don't know how it is throughout the other parts of Mexico, I'm primarily talking about here in Merida, and the 3 different places that we lived in here in Merida, on average, the water comes out to about $7 to $10, $7 US dollars to $10 US dollars every 2 months. And I'm talking about we're using a lot of water. That's washing our clothes, washing dishes, taking showers, and there's 5 of us in the house. We $7 to $10 US every 2 months is what we've been spending on average. So that kind of gives you a foundation. Now this is in Merida. I don't know how it is in other parts of Mexico. I don't know if it's more expensive for water or less. That's what we pay. Now, the other money expenses that you'll spend on water is for drinking water. So you have these trucks that drive by, they come into your neighborhoods, and you can flag them down, and once you flag them down once, they'll stop by every time they come by your house, and you can get some water. Let me go grab one of these jugs here just so I can show you this right fast. Hold on with me. Bear with me 1 second. Let's see. So you can get, in the States, these are 5-gallon jugs. This big old 5-gallon thing of water. Here, this is 20 liters. Our metric system they use out here. So this is 20 liters of water. So if you get the delivery guy, the truck that come by, you'll spend about 35 pesos, maybe 40 pesos. Is that right? I can't remember if it's 30 pesos. I think it's about 30 pesos. So it's about $1.50 for this 5-gallon jug of water. So now on your initial purchase, I think you'll spend somewhere along the lines of like $5 US, because it acts like a deposit, I guess, and you're buying the jug. So they'll give you a full jug of water, about $5, and then when they come by to refill it, they'll swap out the empty ones and give you a full one, and then at that point, you're paying about $1.50 for the water. So this is what you'll use for your drinking water and stuff like that. People ask, well, can you use the water from the sink to wash your food, cook your food? Many people do, and other people tend to use the filtered water. I rinse my food out, like my fruits and vegetables. I use this tap water. I hadn't had no problem with it. I also use the tap water when I'm boiling. So if I'm boiling some beans or making some noodles or something like that, I use the sink. I use the water from the tap. Other people, they prefer to use that. So it's your preference, whatever you decide to do. I hadn't gotten sick from it or anything like that. I'm not suggesting you do what I do, but that's just what I do. So $1.50. Now, if you're on a strict budget or fixed income and you need to cut your costs down even more, after you buy the initial thing of water, or buy the jugs, they generally will have these water stations in the different neighborhoods. And there, depending on where you live in the city, it might only cost 10 to 15 pesos to fill this up. 10 pesos is about 50 cents. So you fill this up, you go there yourself, you put your 10 pesos in the machine and it'll fill up your jug, and I say that's about 50 cents, which is a pretty big saving. I mean, you're saving almost 3 times. So if you have a car, or oftentimes the guys will ride by on these little tricycle things, big old 3-wheel bikes, and they have different shelves on there. You flag one of them down. You can generally have them go fill this up for 50 cents versus spending $1.50 for one. So the $1.50 that you spend on one, you can get 3 at the water station. If, like us, every time the guy come by, we might get 5 of these. So what's that? About $7.50 versus $2.50 if I take those 5 jugs and fill it up myself. Sometimes if I'm in the mood and don't feel like, don't mind, I'll load them up and go get it myself. Other days I just don't feel like it. I see the truck, I flag them down, and they come fill it up. So those are your options. So either do 50 cents and fill it up yourself, or pay $1.50 and have a truck bring it to you. And also so you could also go to OXXO, which is like the convenience store, and you could take your empty ones in there and swap them out, and you'll spend about the same $1.50. You can also pick them up at the grocery store as well. Bring your empty ones in, swap them out, and bring it in. So the thing's got to be clean. If you take a dirty one in, they generally won't accept your dirty thing. If your jugs are dented up or scratched up or bruised up, they generally won't accept it. So as a rule of thumb, try not to get this thing dirty and try and keep it looking good. Try and keep it looking clean so that way you can continue to use it. Now this company, this is a company that comes by in our old house. I think I got to find a phone number, but this is the alkaline water. So you pay a little more. I think this, instead of paying 30 pesos, this shoots up to 40 pesos, which is, so instead of $1.50, this costs maybe $2 to fill this up. But it's the alkaline water. The water stations out in the streets, also some of them will have alkaline water as an option as well. So that's the breakdown of water. Electricity. Kind of hard to say. Now, the electricity is ran by a company called CFE. C like Charlie, F like Frank, E like Evelyn. CFE. You can go on their website, you type in CFE Mexico, and I think there's an option there for you to put in your zip code, and you can get the actual rates, kilowatts that they use to charge by the wattage or whatever. You can break that down. But again, you really won't know how much you use until you get your bill. So the previous house we was in prior to moving to Concal, like I say, we got our electric bill. There was a time when, I mean, my bill was like 12,000 pesos, which is about $600. That's for 2 months. Remember, every 2 months the bill come out, which is about $300 a month. We had the air conditioner going 24 hours a day practically. And it didn't help because all of us, at least when you're living in the States, when you get up in the morning and you go to work or you go to your office, you turn off the stuff. Nobody's home, so nobody's there consuming electricity, the air conditioning or the heater. But since we live here and work from home, you're home all day, everybody's home. So we're running air conditioning, and of course, the more air conditioning you run, the more money it's gonna cost. And so for us, I mean, we spent quite a bit. The other thing that didn't help was the fact that we kept the thermostat down real low, like 16 degrees Celsius. They on the Celsius, it's not Fahrenheit here, it's Celsius. So we're on 16 degrees Celsius. And so apparently, accordingly, that burns and pulls more energy, which costs a whole lot more. And so now I'm no longer in the house with solar. I got my air conditioning now set on 24 degrees Celsius, which is what other folks were suggesting that it be on, 23, 24, 25. And that theoretically should give us a significantly less bill. So I'm actually anxious and looking forward to seeing what my bill is going to be. Now, that's us. Now, there's 5 of us in the house. Children, and when you have children that run the air conditioning, they have no concept of money, particularly since they're not paying for it. They'll leave the air conditioning on, and they'll leave the house or leave the room, and it'll be running and nobody's there. But if you're coming here by yourself, or if it's just 2 of you, you likely won't get a bill like $500 and $600, unless you're just being sloppy and negligent and leaving that thing on. You leave the house and then you run out and it's on all day. No, you shouldn't have that, because I meet people all the time where their bill might only be the equivalent of about $100 every 2 months, $100 US. Maybe $200 US, which is kind of on the high end in comparison to what locals pay, $200 US. So just something, you just really won't know what your thing is going to be until you get here and get an idea of what your usage is going to be like. Because there are some foreigners that come here and they don't run their air conditioning as much, or people that are older and they're always cold, and so they're not running their air conditioning as much. Their bill is only 500 pesos, which is about $25 US every 2 months. So, and this is not a year-round thing where the temperature is extremely high. We get about a good 6 months of great quality weather, where particularly down when the winter start to come, the electric bill drastically drops. So when you're not running your air conditioning, and so your bill is cheap. I think our lowest bill, particularly during the winter months like November and December and January, I mean, we're paying like $100, $150 every 2 months for those 2-month cycles. So kind of hard to say, but again, that bill come out every 2 months, so it's really based on your usage. One of the benefits here, they don't have a central air conditioning system or central heating systems. You have individual air conditioning units in each room, in your bedroom, and you might have one down in your living room, which would cover the living room and the dining room together. The unit's a little bigger and more powerful. So you literally only using it in the space that you're in. And when you're not using it, you turn it off and you go on about your way. So that's a plus. You're not just wasting electricity. So, and the other thing you want to be sure of or mindful of is whether or not the air conditioning units are inverters. So apparently inverters suck up less energy, and it helps minimize and keep your bill down even lower. So the 4 air conditioning units that I bought when I moved in here, I bought all 4 inverters. So again, I'm looking forward to getting an idea of what my bill is going to be like when I get my first payment. So I'm looking forward to that. Gas with liquefied petroleum is what they use. I guess it was a mixture of petroleum and butane. They generally have a big, depending on the setup of the house. The house might have a big giant tank up top, and when you run out, you just send a message to one of the gas providers, and an hour or 2 later, they'll roll up in this big old truck. They'll pull out a ladder, they'll climb up on the roof, and they'll put their hose into the tank, and they'll fill it up. And so our tank, I think, it never really ran empty. Well, it did run empty quite a bit. To fill that tank up, it'll be like $40, $50, and it might last us about, I don't know, 6 weeks maybe. And mind you, there's 5 of us. The kids cook all the time on that gas stove. The washer and the dryer, the dryer is gas, so when you run the dryer, it's pulling gas. And then when you use hot water to get hot water into the laundry, that's also requiring the gas water heater to be consume gas to heat up the water. You take hot showers, that's again costing you in gas. And so, like I say, about 6 weeks, every other, about 6 weeks. Everybody else seemed to say they gas last for like 2 and 3, 4 months. I don't see how that's done, because like I say, about every 6 weeks, we might have to get it refilled back up again. But again, like I say, it's 5 of us. If it's just 1 of you or 2 of you, you probably going that $40 tank fill up might last you about a good 3 months, which is quite good. Now, if you have a house where it's all electric, you won't have to worry about gas. You won't have to worry about a gas bill. So if you have an electric stove, electric washer, electric dryer, electric hot water heater, your gas. So again, consumption of gas is going to be dependent upon how much you use as well. So trash on average, you can pay it every month, but I don't think it's worth the hassle. It's better just to go ahead and pay it off for the whole year. So here in Concal, and even in Montes de Almeida, inside the perimeter, you can look to spend about $25 to $35 per year for trash. And that's with the trash man coming. In our last place, the trash came 3 days. Came every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. and you just roll your trash outside the front door, and they come and scoop it up, and bam. So that's about $25 to $35 per year for trash pickup. You just can't beat that. For 3 days a week, now the house that we're in now, it's about, they come twice a week. So, but that was included in our rent. Oftentimes, many of the places that you live in, the landlords typically may cover the trash in the rent. That might be included. Oftentimes, you'll also find many landlords where the internet is also included in the rent. And usually 90% of the cases, you'll pay the electric and you'll pay the gas. And like I say, but the internet, in half the cases, most likely could be included in the rent, along with the trash is included in the rent. And many times, but not all the time, water will typically be also included in the rent as well. But if it's not included in the rent, like I say, it's cheap, $25, $35 a year for trash, $7 to $10 US dollars every 2 months for water, and you pay for your own gas. Now, so we talked about trash, we talked about water, we talked about electric, we covered the gas. Now, some other expenses that you can be looking forward to spend money on every month is if you have a pool. Our pool guy charges us about 120 pesos each time he comes by to visit, which is about $6 US. On top of that, that's if I already have my chemicals, my chlorine tablets, and my other cleaning supplies. If I had that here, he'll pull that out and he'll treat the water and whatnot. He'll take out his pump and he'll suck out the bottom and clean the pool real good, scrape it up and whatever. So that's about 120 pesos, which is about $6 every week, which is about $24 a month. It adds up. And it seems to me, every time I turn around, this joker knocking at my door. And it's like, man, that week come by quick. It's cheap. But like I say, it adds up, $24 a month. You're looking at almost $300 a year. So what I decided this time, I'm gonna have this guy come out maybe one more time, and I decided I'm just gonna break down. I'm gonna buy my own cleaning pump, pool cleaning thing, and save them $300. Cause I intend to be here for 2 years while we're building our home. And so, I mean, that's gonna be $600 that it would cost me if I pay him to do it. I can buy the equipment used on Facebook for about $300 US, and I'm saving, I'll save me $300. And it's not even really about saving the money. I just find it doggone inconvenient. I gotta rush home, I gotta pay this guy, I gotta let him in through the service door, I gotta let him in, and he called, hey, I'm on the way, I'm not home, I'm busy, it just ain't worth the headache. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy that thing and I'm gonna clean it myself and deal with that. So just something to be mindful of, because them 7 days every week it come by. And then when you really need him to come, and let's say it rained real bad or you had a windstorm and leaves fell all up in your stuff, and when you really need him, he ain't coming. He 5 days late, and it's like, really? So little nuances like that, it's like, it ain't worth the headache, it ain't rushing back. And then I don't have cash, I don't keep cash on me much, which is something that you're gonna have to get used to doing. You're gonna have to keep cash on you, because this is primarily a cash society, and it just makes your life much easier. Like the other day, that dresser that was delivered to my house, I told the guy in the app that I only had a credit card, and he said they accept credit cards, but of course when they got here, they were looking for cash. I was like, dude, I told you, you said I could pay with credit card. And so I had to, run with McKim and ran to the ATM machine. I had to pull the cash. And so it was inconvenient because when the pool guy come, I might have forgot he was coming, or he show up a day early, and I don't have cash, and now I got to go through all these hoops. So I'm buying my own stuff. Ain't fooling around with them guys no more. So you can expect to spend money on that. Pool supplies, you probably spend about, I don't know, $15 for the month. Just getting some supply, buying the supplies. Now, if you buy them in bulk, it gets even cheaper. Out here, you can go to Sam's Club and buy a bunch of stuff in bulk and save a lot of money. So just, again, something to be mindful of. So $6 to $10, depending on the size of your pool, and that's the thing. It depends on the size of your pool, is what you're gonna pay. And you see my pool is a pretty sizable pool, and I'm paying $6. The lawn guy. At the last place, we were spending about $25, and I think that was high. I think it was because in the subdivision we was in. And the landlord already had a contract with a company, so we just assumed it. The first 6 months, September, October, November, December, she had already paid up for the year, so we had 4 months of free lawn service, and when January kicked in, we had to renew the contract. And so I think it was like $30, $35 a month. And they came by, was it, well, you know what, I don't think it was that bad. I think we were paying $35 or $40, and they came out twice a month, if I recall. I might got the numbers backwards. I'll have to confirm that. But you could expect to spend $15, $20 each time they come. Again, depends on the size of your yard. I always recommend you get 4 quotes from 4 different people, and somewhere in the middle you'll find the right number, or you'll find what you should be paying. Also, you can ask your neighbors who they use and what they pay, and generally they'll tell you without any issue. And generally you can use their guys for the service. What else? Okay, so we did the lawn, got the pool guy. Now, one thing I won't do is cut my own grass. Kind of traumatized from being a kid. My dad used to make us cut that grass and go out there and rake them leaves. We had all these trees in our yard, pine needles falling down, pine cones and leaves. We go out there and rake it up, be out there for 3-4 hours. And then the next morning, we had to go back out there and rake them up again because all that stuff. So I was like, man, I would never, ever cut my grass as an adult. And I haven't. You know what I mean? I will pay for somebody to come cut my grass. Just traumatized from a kid. What other costs can you expect? Again, let's talk about some of the other things you don't think about. For example, I'm just looking at my note to make sure I got everything. Cost for utility. So, fumigation, I think I already talked on that. A lot of folks are concerned about bugs and stuff getting in the house. Generally, again, if you get a good fumigator to come by, you're not going to have any issues with bugs in your house. Fumigation is really great. They have all types that you can choose from. People that are concerned about the environment, more eco-friendly fumigation, you got that option. The regular fumigation where you don't give a damn about the environment, you got that guy. They got the smoke out guys that come in. You pick your poison, literally. And the services have been pretty good every time. We didn't use fumigation at the last house we was in. When we moved in, there was just no signs of bugs. Now, the other place inside the city, inside the perimeter, we used the fumigation company. They came out every other month. And I want to say we're spending about $30 US for them to come every other month. So every 2 months they come out, they'll treat the house, and that kept bugs and scorpions away completely. And after about 60 days, 70 days, we might start seeing a scorpion return or a bug will return. That's when we knew it was time to call the fumigation guy to come back out and treat it. So it depends on where you live. If you're in the area where there's a lot of green space, a lot of trees and weeds and new development, new construction site, you're gonna see more insects and bugs and mosquitoes in that area. So like where we're at now, there are a bunch of empty lots. The house next door, with two houses down, they're building. So a lot of stuff has been, what's the word I'm looking for? Interrupted. The environment's been interrupted. And so insects are looking for a place to go. So like I say, $30 every other month. I almost kind of believe I was paying too much. But that's when I first got here, year one, and hadn't had to use, and then the second house, yeah. So I haven't used fumigation in a year, so I don't know what the prices are, if it's better or less. And it might be also based on location. We lived in the other place, we lived in the wealthier side of town, so when you live in those areas, people charge you more money just because. So that's an expense you can probably add in if you're really concerned about critters and you want to make sure. One of my other guests, they had the fumigation guy come out every month. And she'll tell you straight up, she didn't have one ant in her house. And so for her, bugs freaked her out. She ain't want no problem, so she took a more preventive approach and went and dealt with them things before it became an issue. Other places where you can expect to spend money is a lot of the public bathrooms. So like when you're downtown in Central, all of the public bathrooms, like if you go down to the beach and Progreso, any of the beaches, they will generally have public bathrooms where you will have to pay to use the bathroom. So they could be like 10 pesos, which is about 50 cents, to go into the bathroom. You go into the bathroom, they generally give you some toilet paper to go in there and use the bathroom with, et cetera, et cetera. Many times you'll generally find the bathrooms tend to be pretty clean. Every now and again you'll find some that are a dump. But the ones where you're gonna pay, they tend to be pretty clean. They generally maintain them. Many of the gas stations will have an area where you can go to the bathroom. If you're getting gas, many times they won't charge you, but if you're just walking up to use the bathroom and you're not getting gas, you can look to spend 5 pesos or 10 pesos to use the bathroom. So as a rule of thumb, you always want to keep change in your pocket. Always keep change in your pocket, and because you will need that change when you go to the bathroom, when you're traveling as well. So keep that. So that's public bathrooms. Parking throughout the city is free for the most part. The only time you generally need to pay is, for example, when you go down to Central, there's very little parking. And so they have these parking garages all over the place. And so you'll pay to go into a parking garage. And just to give you an example, going into a parking garage might be about 20 pesos for an hour or so. So that's about $1. $1 is what I'm paying for that parking. And sometimes it's cheaper than that, but it depends on where you're at. Also at the beach, when you go to the beach, if you want to be parking close to the beach, people will flag you down and say, hey, you can park in my driveway or you can park in front of my store parking lot, and you might pay them some pesos as well. Again, it varies. 15 pesos, 75 cents, 20 pesos, $1. Some you just pay a flat fee. You might just give 50 pesos and you can stay gone all day in that parking lot. So parking is not expensive. It's not excessive like it can be in the States. Now, if you don't want to pay parking, obviously, particularly like at Progreso at the beach, you just park further up the street, find a curb or a street to park alongside. Generally, where you see the yellow painted curb, you can't park there in that area. You gotta stay out of that zone. You don't want to get your car towed because it takes an act of God to get your car back. It can take weeks and months to get your car back. So you don't want that headache. So don't park illegally. It's gonna cost you a ton. So other ways, other places where you'll spend some money at, you pull into the parking lot at the grocery store and you park, you buy groceries. Costco is good for this, or even just some of the local grocery stores. You come out with a cart full of stuff and you walk into your car. Some of the guys that work outside, they'll flag you down and ask you, hey, can I help you take that to your car and load your car up? So you'll keep a couple of pesos on hand if you decide to utilize one of their services. So 10, 15, 20 pesos, depending on how much stuff you got. They'll pack your stuff in, they'll load it up, they'll grab the cart, take it back. So this is a tipping society. Everybody's out to make a tip. Now, when you get in your car, then there might be another guy who come and back you out. He'll stop the cars, stop traffic. He'll help you back out. He's trying to control it, telling you where to go, turn it this way, turn it that way, keep straight so that you don't hit another car. And then as a courtesy, you know, he might stick his hand out and ask for a tip. So again, 5, 10, 15 pesos, you drop in his hand. Again, which is about 50 cents. Thank you for helping me out, even though you didn't need the help. And many times these are just self-designated guys that say, hey, I'm gonna be the parking attendant today. I'm gonna go get me a red towel, and that's how you know it's them. Any random guy can just walk up and direct the traffic, I guess. Now, they can be useful because sometimes when you pull out of a department store or a store in general, and there's a lot of traffic, you might be coming down a main street, need to get onto the main street. These jokers out here, they don't let you in. They do not let you in at all. So the parking attendant, the guy, he'll walk in the street and he'll throw his flag up and stop him. And then he'll get you out. You know, so have some change loaded up in your hand, dump it in his hand for saying thank you and be on your way. Other places that you'll spend money on tipping is at the grocery store or any store where there's baggers. So if you're in Walmart and somebody's bagging your groceries, if you're in the grocery store and somebody's bagging your groceries or you're bagging your stuff, you generally want to put some pesos in their hand. They don't get paid by the store, so they rely on those tips. So keep that in the back of your mind. If somebody's bagging your stuff, you generally want to slip a few pesos, and that could be 10 pesos, 50 cents. It could be 20 pesos, which is $1, depending on how much stuff you got. So if you got a whole lot of stuff and they bagging a lot of stuff, you tend to go on the higher side. Also, you will tip at the gas station. When the guys or ladies come out there and pump your gas, they'll generally, while they're pumping your gas, because you're not allowed to pump your gas, so they'll pump your gas, and while they're pumping it, they'll come through and clean your windows, all of your windows down. Sometimes, depending on where you're at, they'll spray some stuff on your tire to get your tires shining. If you want them to check your oil, you want them to check your fluids, top it off, they'll do all that. They'll put some oil in your car. They'll do all of that. So again, generally give them a tip. So again, keep that change in your pocket, in your purse, in your car. So you're gonna be tipping everywhere you go. You definitely want to do that. So take care of those guys there. Now, for the baggers, the groceries, the gas, the parking attendant, even at the bars. Sometimes when you go to a bar, Robert and I will go to these bars and get our drinks and stuff like that. There's generally a doorman at the door. And I guess they security. And not even bars, but particularly when you're down here in Central, cantinas, and just restaurants and wherever you at. We always tip them guys on the way out. And I'm a big tipper. I like to tip. I'm a very generous tipper. It works in your favor. Robert and I, some of these places we go to, because we tip, and we're not talking about big tips. I'm talking 20 pesos, 30 pesos. It's a lot for them. 30 pesos is like $1.50. If I'm feeling really generous, I'll give a 50 pesos, which is $2.50. But I'm gonna tell you something. Them folks look out for you. They remember you. Me and Robert will go downtown, we go to La Negrita, this little cantina, and there be a long line. We don't go to the back of the line. We just go to the door and they let us in. You know why? Because they remember us. They appreciate it. They take care of us. We don't have to wait. So everywhere we go, you know, when there's an opportunity for the tip, man, they hook it up. So also there was one time I was at some kind of bar, me and Robert. I can't remember the details. This was almost 2 years ago. And people get drunk in them places. So this guy, there was these two guys and a girl. And so when I walked out the door, one of the guys, like I say, two guys and a girl, they were all three together. He walked up to me all drunk, couldn't even keep his eyes open, couldn't even walk, couldn't even stand up. They had to hold him up. And he started talking noise. I didn't even know what he was saying because, you know, I was brand new, really didn't know Spanish, didn't know enough. And so he was just talking all this trash and blah, 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 blah. I was like, you just, a lot of this stuff, you just let it go because one, you're in a foreign country, and two, you don't even know what, you don't want no trouble. You know what I mean? And he wasn't being aggressive because he was drunk. He was a friendly drunk, but he was mad about something. I don't know what he was mad about. Talking all this noise, and his friends were the other guy and the girl were trying to pull him back and sit him down and they was apologizing profusely. They were like, oh, he been drinking me. They were doing this. He crazy. And so the guy, he just started getting madder and louder. And so one of the doormen, the guy that would be watching the door, because I always tip him, man, they ran over there. Soon they realized there was a commotion. They ran over there so fast, yelled at the other two folks, told them to get their friend in control, and something, I guess they said something about their ride was around the corner, and the ride came. As soon as the car came, them two guys, the security, grabbed the guy and threw him in the doggone car. And then they yelled at the guys, you know, yelled at all three of them. And then they came back to me and apologized. And, oh man, we sorry. You know, he was just drinking and he caused this trouble with everybody every time he come here and blah. And they apologized profusely. I tip them guys well every time. They look out for me every time. Every time me and Robert roll up in the spot, they giving us the spot. They giving us the they finding us the best waiter or the best waitress. And they like take care of these guys. They guys gonna take care of you. So in a tipping culture, in a place where the tipping is appreciated, they remember. It goes a long, long way. And it's not a lot. Pulling $1 out, which is the equivalent of 20 pesos, is not a lot, but it's a lot for them. And they appreciate it, they remember it, and it makes all the difference in the world for you when you come back. So take care of folks, and even the parking attendants. If we go to a place late at night, we might go downtown Central. There might be parades and stuff like that. A guy with a flag, he'll flag you down and tell you, hey, you can park here. We slip them an extra 20 pesos, 25 pesos, and we'll tell them, hey, watch the car. And they will watch your stuff. They're gonna make sure nobody gonna go in your car, and they gonna make sure your stuff is straight. And many times they won't leave until you get back. Even if you're the last car there, they will stay there with your stuff. So especially if you got stuff of value in your car, in your trunk, and you know you do, go out of your way and take care of these folks. I think I just about covered it all. I didn't realize this was going to be about an hour-long video. So I'll probably break this up into pieces and put it out. So that's it. I'm Cartez Ross with Move Abroad and Thrive. If you find this content helpful and useful, Consider a donation, Cash App, $Cartez Ross, moveabroadandthrive.com/donate. You'll be able to make a donation via credit card. Also consider taking a look at our VIP membership. I have a section in there called Ask Cartez. So any questions that you have about Mexico or whatever, moving abroad, living abroad, you'll be able to log into that section of the site, ask your question. I personally will respond and answer your questions there. We also host exclusive interviews where you can talk to our guests directly during the live Q&A, and whatever questions you have, you can get them answered during the live interviews as well. So, and matter of fact, tomorrow, September the 8th, we have a live interview with Mr. Angel. We're going to be talking about real estate, buying houses, buying land, building houses, renting properties, all of that, how to get tags for your car, buying a car, how to get your RFC number, which is like a social security number, residency stuff, all of that. It's going to be live, and for our VIP members, you'll be able to talk to them directly. We're going live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, September 8th. Again, make sure that date is right. September 8th, 2024 at 5 p.m. Eastern. If you're in Merida, that's going to be at 3 p.m. And so join our VIP, moveabroadandthrive.com/VIP. Links are going to be in the bottom description. If you have any questions, let me know. Also in the comments, post down what you would like to know more about. So that way I'm not rambling off about non-important issues. You let me know what you would like to know more about, and I will get the information. Met a lady who runs a senior assisted living facility home, I think. Yeah, I'm going to be talking to her soon and getting more information about her facility. And she reached out to me, and she's excited to talk and share. And there's a lot of folks that are moving here, and not people that are moving here, they're people that's been living here for 5, 10, 15 years, and they're getting older and they're aging, and they don't want to go back home to be taken care of by family. They want to transition to another place where, you know, they have care and somebody's looking out for them, and, you know, they plan on staying the rest of their life here. They're going to end their life here. So we're going to be talking to her soon, so I'm looking forward to that. So thank you for watching.